meet the METS. Step right up and greet the METS. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed.
And how you doing, how you living, how you feeling, folks? Back for another episode of City Night Lights. Now, of course, I'm your favorite host, Idiot Number Zero. My name's Zach. As always, I'm glad to be back. You know, nothing gets me more excited than getting to talk some baseball. Always glad when the Mets are doing good. It makes it even more fun to talk. So, we're just going to get right into it. My last episode, we kind of ended off with the miserable Mets, dropping the series to the Marlins on June 13th. And the Mets have made some unbelievable strides since then. They ended up going out and they swept the Padres at home. I was actually able to go to one of those games. That was awesome. Gotta love seeing JD Martinez hit 2 fucking home runs in the same game. That was great. And then we go down to Texas to go take on the Rangers, and we made quick work of them in a 2-1 series. And then we go play the Cubbies at home. We light up Shoto Imanaga, who's had a phenomenal start to the season so far. And we still take that series 2-1. And then, as of today, we won the first game against the Yankees yesterday, and today this game ended in the 5th inning. Probably going to be called. It was a 4-0 game in what's called the bottom 5th. So per baseball rules, that game will probably be called. And with that being said, the Mets are fucking back, baby. We're back at 500. I've been waiting for this. This feels great. This feels like the Mets team we signed up for at the beginning of the year. The team that was supposed to do something, supposed to have some type of talent on this roster. And it's really given me some type of hope that we're not selling at the deadline. Now, is it still possible we sell at the deadline? Of course. But winning all these games sure as hell helps, because we were really, a series away, a series sweep away from not being contenders anymore, really being looked at as a different team for the rest of the season. But now we're back. We are in the midst of this wild card race. We're right there with the Cards, with the Pirates, hell, with the Padres. So, I'm very excited to see what this Mets team can do. I got a lot of faith, and I'm very excited. It's just unbelievable to watch the Mets. I can't believe we took the sweep of the Subway Series, baby. Yeah, it's awesome. Now, just going over some stuff, I see, Lindor, ever since Mendoza moved him up into the leadoff spot, what a difference that has made for him as a player. He's been able to hit the ball, something that he hasn't been able to do all freaking season until they moved him to the leadoff spot. So that's been unbelievably successful. I'm really happy to see Lindor kind of getting a move on here. That's something that makes me happy. I'm very pleased with that. So I hope he keeps moving and grooving the rest of the season the way he has been so far. Now, with that being said, we're going to move on. Brandon Nimmo. Brandon Nimmo's been hot in the streets, baby. Hitting home runs, running the bases like a mean machine. I love to see it. Makes you feel some type of way when you get Brandon Nimmo out there playing every day, looking like Brandon Nimmo should. On top of that, we got Mr. JD Martinez, Mr. Professional out here, hitting bombs, scoring runs. This guy is probably the most professional hitter on this entire baseball team, and he's just a joy to watch. Truly, truly a joy. I mean, there's no one I'm more excited to watch come to the plate for the Mets than JD Martinez. And I know he might not be with us next year, but I really do like JD Martinez. I'm very happy to watch him. He's an awesome player. Pete's been the last couple weeks. He's starting to improve over the last, I would say, week and a half. He's starting to look like the Pete Alonso we know. The Pete Alonso that can hit some balls, not just for power, but still has that pop. Can get those doubles. I'm very excited to see that he is moving and grooving. That makes me extremely happy. And just to quickly talk on the Subway Series, because, the Yankee fans need something to talk about. You had a good throw out on him at home by Verdugo. Verdugo had an absolute stripe from left field to throw him out. But it didn't even matter because we still beat you in that game. So I love to see that. Glad to see Francisco Alvarez is finally back in the mix. He had Sean Manaea out in the bump today. Him and Sean Manaea have a great connection. So, Manaea, I believe, is throwing a sub-2 ERA when he's got Francisco Alvarez behind the dish. And every other catcher, he's looking like a subpar pitcher. I mean, he's all the way up at like a 4.5 ERA with any other catcher. So I'm really, really glad we have Alvarez back in the lineup, a guy that we sorely missed and really, really needed just to provide some extra pop to this lineup. Then we do have Starling Marte with the bone bruise, probably going to be out for a week or two. Probably more knowing Starling Marte. I mean, when he plays, he's phenomenal. But the issue is just getting him out in the field. He hasn't played more than 100 and I believe 12 games for the Mets in his 3 years there so far. I would really hope that he can hit the 120 mark. That would make me happy for a player like Marte. But he's been great to this point. Now we're going to keep it grooving. Don't forget about Mark Vientos, baby. We sent down Beatty, we brought up Vientos, and all of a sudden, this man is on a tear. An absolute tear. Hit 2 home runs against the Yankees. Woo! Gotta love that. Can't beat it. It feels great. This Mets team is really moving in the right direction right now. Hell, even Harrison Bader has been an awesome contributor for this ball club this year. Someone I've been very, very happy to see, go out there, play some great defense, and really contribute with the bat. That's been an unbelievable thing. Now, very happy with that. We've seen Luis Severino. One of these 1-year deals. He's kind of working out right now. No injuries. That's been perfect. He looks kind of phenomenal. So I've been very happy to see Sevy pitch. I really wanted to see him pitch against the Yankees. Thought that could have been a cool little Subway Series experience, but unfortunately he had pitched a couple days before to the tune of I believe, 6 innings, 10 Ks, no run outing. So you can't beat that. I love watching Sevy. I'm very happy we have him, thank God, because I don't know what we'd do without him. David Peterson, he had a phenomenal start against the Yankees. He's looking halfway decent. David Peterson's an every other year pitcher. Every time if you look at his stats on Pro Baseball Reference, they're going to go, oh, I know exactly what you mean. He's really only good every other year. It's crazy. And since this is an odd number year, should be a good David Peterson year. Now, we'll keep it moving. You got Sean Manaea. Sean Manaea has been pretty decent for us so far. I mean, he's had some struggles this year. He started off real hot, got kind of icy cold. But when we talk about quality start, Jose Quintana, he's kind of had the opposite. He started off real slow, and he's starting to get hot, starting to have those quality starts. So I love to see it. It makes me happy to watch this team kind of falling together. I don't have any words for McGill. I haven't really seen him pitch all too much. But, I'm happy with the way this team has been moving. I'm excited for the trade deadline and the All-Star break. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to get Kodai Senga back into the mix. I like that the Mets aren't rushing him back, especially after watching, the whole Garrett Cole experience. He's been kind of shaky since coming back. The velocity hasn't necessarily been there consistently, and he's just getting lit up. So I'm glad that we're still having Kodai in the back burner, just letting him figure this out. Ooh, excuse me. So that's been good. Drew Smith out in a 15-day, a sprained elbow. I'd hope that we see him back sooner than later, but we'll see what comes of that. Same thing with Sean Reed Foley. I hope that we see him back in the mix sooner than later. That would be very, very nice. But I've been very pleased with this team's performance over the last couple weeks. They've really been kind of on the ball. Now, what I will say is we do have to talk about the bullpen. Not a huge fan of Danny Young. Daniil Nunez, he's been pretty good for us. I mean, me personally, I haven't been a huge fan, but he's put up some solid numbers. I mean, he's got 21 innings pitched to the tune of a 2.53. I mean, that's solid. I can't hate on that as much as I want to. So good for you, Daniil Nunez. I'm happy that you're doing well for us, and I really appreciate the effort. Adam Ottavino has not looked the same. He's just been kind of off his rocker. Maybe I hope the old man can get back on it, because when he's hot, he's hard to hit. Now another guy, Reed Garrett. Reed Garrett started off the season unbelievable. This is a guy who has a ton of strikeouts. He has 57 so far. I mean, I'll take that. We're not even at the All-Star break yet. I'm very, very pleased to see we do have other relievers who can get the job done. Another guy, Jake Diekman, pretty much the only lefty we have in the pen right now, has been pretty solid. Very happy with him. I don't really know too much about Danny Young. I've seen him pitch once, so I can't make comments. Ty Adcock, can't make any comments. Haven't really seen him pitch. Adrian Hauser has been an absolute mess, so I'm glad that we have him in the bullpen as a long-term reliever. That might help in certain scenarios. I don't mind that at all. I think that was the right move. And then Edwin Diaz. Edwin Diaz had he finally started getting his stuff back, and now he's on the 10-game suspension list because he had some sticky stuff on his hands, which is unfortunate because, trying to get too many cookies out of the cookie jar, sometimes you're going to get burned, and it looks like Edwin Diaz got burned. So it's unfortunate, but I'm very excited when he gets back in the mix. Hopefully we still get the same Edwin Diaz that he's been as of the last 2 weeks. That would really, really be awesome because Edwin Diaz, when he's on, there's nothing better. There's no better feeling than going into the ninth inning going, it's game over. There's no better feeling. So I'm very excited for Edwin Diaz to get back into the fold here. But what I will say is this team is kind of primed to make a deadline acquisition. It wouldn't. I don't think we're going to be able to really deal Jeff McNeil in any capacity. I don't really mind our outfield right now being Nimmo, Bader, and Marte when he's back. It's hard to go out there and say offensively. I don't think we can really go out there and get any pieces, but I think we definitely could take a run at maybe we go after a depth bat, but I don't really think the bats are going to be anything we need to touch. Really, it's going to have to be the pitching. We're going to have to go in and actually invest in some type of, starter. We're going to need somebody to do something. Maybe Jack Flaherty's the answer. Maybe Shane Bieber's the answer. They probably won't trade Shane Bieber just because Cleveland's on an absolute tear this season, but those are just some names to quickly throw out there that could be nice little options for the Mets to go at the deadline, especially Jack Flaherty. I don't know how great he's been this season, but he's been a quality starter in the past. I don't know how great he's been as of late, but some guys like that could definitely be very, very helpful for the ball club. I would love to see maybe we go out there, pick up another reliever or two. That would be cool. I'm very pleased over the last 2 weeks of how good this team has been. They're hot. They're hot in the streets. I would love to see them maintain this heat, but obviously it's not going to last forever. They're going to come back down to the mean, but at this point, I don't really know what the mean for the Mets is. It's kind of tough to figure that out. They've been so all over the place. They're so hot and cold. There really is no middle ground for this team, but what I will say is they are no longer the miserable Mets. They're finally the merry Mets. We're going on our way. We're doing the right thing, and it's very, very pleasing to see. It's unbelievably exciting, and I'm very happy that they're just moving in the right direction. So, with that being said, I don't have too much more to add here. I'm just happy. I'm very pleasantly pleased with the Mets. We're back at 500, being 39-39. This is not exactly where I thought we would be right now in the season, but I'm definitely glad we're back at 500. Super, super pleased with that. Super, super pleased with their performance over the last 2 weeks, and I really hope they can keep this up because if I can watch the merry Mets all season long, I'm going to be so happy. Hell, all I'm asking for here is a wild card spot. We don't even need to win, but the thing with this Mets team is they're a type of team that, as long as they can make the dance, they can tango for a long time. They just got to make the dance. So we'll see what happens there. Now, with that being said, guys, I don't have anything else to add. This was a fun little episode to make. I'm glad that I was able to make it. Glad you guys come out and listen to me when you can. Really appreciate it. And with that being said, have a phenomenal day and stay idiotic.